We got 7 here, Gordon. We'll start first with Grant Fisher in that BU 5000, an epic 5000, another race at Boston University where the record book was completely torn up. Fisher goes 12:53 to break Galen Rupp's indoor American record, got very close to the overall men's 5,000-meter record set by Bernard Lagat. And behind Fisher, you had Mohamed with the Canadian record. You had Mark Scott with the UK and European record. This was a sensational last 2 kilometers for Fisher. You were thinking, hey, once you saw that second heat and how fast it went, you said, these guys are running fast. You should turn this on. It's probably going to be American record pace. And you were right, Gordon. I mean, we did not see this coming in the preview week that we, or the lead up that we did last week. But once you saw that 13:05 from Woody Kincaid, I think we knew something fast was afoot. And now Grant Fisher is the American record holder and just completely obliterates 13 minutes.
And with the caption, "My whole heart was in this one, a dream come true." Look at that. From the first time he's running to now running at the BU Valentine Invitational. Dreaming coming true. It's a fast track for a reason. This is where these elite athletes have gone to get their PR in multiple distances. And, I was thinking, I didn't know what type of shape they were in, right? We talked about this. We had no idea, like,
No
if they were
clue.
even eyeing this fast of a pace. I thought they were eyeing like I thought it was going to be similar to the race before it with like Woody Kincaid winning in 13:05. Like I thought
Yeah.
that was what they were eyeing. But when I saw Woody run 13:05 in what was deemed a slow heat, I was like, wait a minute. That must mean Fisher is not trying to run like 13:0. He's trying to run
Right.
at least sub 13. And they were basically Kincaid ran 13:05 going out in 7:56 through 3K. And then Fisher, I believe they went out in like 7:53. So they were 3
Yeah.
seconds faster through 3K. And I was like, okay, 3 seconds faster. That means we're going to be near the sub 13 range. And
Yeah.
he just demolished it. And it is incredible. I remember watching that 13:01 live of Galen Rupp. It was when I first joined FloTrack. I was like in awe. I was like, wow, he's so close to breaking what I thought was like an unbreakable mark in
Yeah.
13 minutes for an indoor American. But now Fisher is just like resetting the whole thing. I mean, Emmanuel Bohr
Yeah.
is now a 13 flat guy in America.
Yeah.
Like it is insane. Emmanuel Bohr was trying to break 13 a year ago and ran like 13:05 or 7 or something like that. And now Fisher just pulled along Mohamed, Mark Scott, and Emmanuel Bohr for incredible PRs. And literally 40% of the top 10 happened in that race, all time in the world history. That's just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see it there. Bohr, Scott, Ahmed, and Fisher. And then if you want to go even deeper, I saw this on the World Athletics write up of the race. It says that in both of the 2 fastest heats, 11 men finished inside 13:25, a level of depth that has never been achieved before in a single race. But this was the Fisher show because even though everybody was running fast, Fisher had daylight over those last couple laps. And
Yeah.
you're watching the feed and they're given the projected times. And in the middle, when they're doing 31 highs, almost sneaking into 32s, you look like, okay, this pace is slowing a bit. And if you compare it to Rupp, a little quicker, but not much from the 13:01. But then in the last 10 laps, Grant Fisher was just on a complete mission. And then the projection kept dropping, right? It's like 13:08, then it's 13:04, then it's 13:01, and then it's sub 13. And then you're just like, wait a minute, how quick can this guy go? He was under 5 minutes for the final 2 kilometers. His final mile, right, he was 8:56 and then he was 12:53. So whatever, around 3:57 there for the final mile. And his last 3 laps, I mean, he goes 30.1, 29.78, and then 28.96. He just looked like he was floating out there in his traditional Fisher style where everything is in order, right? Perfect 90-degree angles with his arms just pumping and going, but he was just moving so quickly that he was making guys who were running sub 13 pace just fall backwards and not be able to keep pace. I think for me this is the culmination of the whole Grant Fisher story that we've been following forever, since before he broke 4 in high school. But it also might be a jumping off point too, because he hasn't had this level of performance at a major championship because he's just, he's so young. He's only been to that one global championship. When Rupp did it in 2014, he had already gone to the Olympics. He had already had that moment in the 10,000 where he gets his medal. For Fisher, the time is coming before the major championship glory. But I think for him to break the American record, to go under 13 minutes by that much is yeah, it's just a culmination of what we've thought Grant Fisher, what the most optimistic people probably thought Grant Fisher was capable of for many years now.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when Fisher won the NCAA 5K when as a sophomore, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
he is now like going to be the superstar phenom.
Mhm.
And then he didn't go on to run USA's after sophomore year.
Yeah.
Coach Miltenberg at Stanford was very conservative with his build up. He came in and wanted to be a 1500-meter runner. I remember freshman year after an interview, he was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I'm a 1500-meter guy, right?" And then clearly he's not a 1500-meter guy. He's breaking the American record in the 5K 6 or 7 years later.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that's what most 5K record holders are. They start out as milers. But after sophomore year, he kind of just it felt like kind of a flatten out, right? Because you had the emergence of Justin Knight, Morgan
Mhm.
McDonald,
Yeah.
people who at the time you're thinking, how isn't Fisher beating these guys? If he wants to be one of the
Mhm.
best, he needs to be able to like dominate the NCAA. Looking
Yeah.
back on it, McDonald and Justin Knight, aren't too shabby of people to. There's no shame in losing to those guys in college.
Sure.
Looking how
Sure.
their careers are projected out, but then through college and even like the first year or two out of college, he kind of was like he was good, but he wasn't
Mhm.
like jaw dropping good. And I feel
Mhm.
like after making his first Olympic team now and now running this like literally a season debut 12:53, he's gone from just like elite to like all-time elite. And I think it's kind of wild because I remember there was a moment when he was like yeah, there was an interview, 2018. I remember this interview. He was
Mhm.
asking himself why he's still running after indoor season because again, he had an incredible sophomore year and then junior year he kind of just had a few letdown races. And I think he probably was thinking, why am I doing this? Am I just doing it because I really love it? I'm sure he had to like really come to like kind of really figure out why
Mhm.
he is running, why he is choosing to put in the work. I mean, he was a soccer player in high school.
Mhm.
And I think those 2 years, that junior, senior year of dealing with kind of not being the best among everyone and taking a bunch of losses kind of set
Yeah.
him up to kind of really have a level head going as a Bowerman track athlete. And now he's running 12:53. And is he, how old is he? What is he? What? He's not even
He's
25. Is he
20
25?
he's 24. He turns 25 this
24?
year.
Yeah, he just turned
Yeah.
24. He's 24. He turns
Yeah.
25 in April. Like
Yeah.
he's basically entering his prime. He's not
Yeah.
leaving his prime. He's
Oh, yeah.
entering it.
100%.
So like
Yeah.
we're gonna have like a good probably 4 years between now and his age 28, 29 seasons of
Yeah.
like every time he steps on the track, we might see something spectacular.
Yeah, and he may never get another opportunity to run this fast again because everything had to align perfectly with the training, with the pacing, the teammates being there. But there's more to accomplish outside of just the time perspective, right? He has more space to grow just in terms of how he performs at major championships because he's only been to one, and in 2021 was ninth in the 5,000 and fifth in the 10,000. So in the 10,000, at least he was there. He was there. I mean, getting top five at the Olympics is no joke, but still 12:53, I think. Like I said, I use the word optimistic because to say, hey, you're going to shatter the American record by 8 seconds, I don't think anybody, even the biggest Grant Fisher fans, would have said, yeah, he's going to do that this indoor season in his first race, 100%. Like I know he's going to be able to do that. It is also interesting to track the trajectory of these standout high schoolers because some of them, the high school ends up being their peak. Some of them, they just take off from high school. And some of them, like Fisher, they go in fits and starts. As you mentioned, wins the NCAA title, but then is overshadowed by Knight, is overshadowed by even McGordy, his teammate, and then Morgan McDonald. I mean, remember those last string of championships with Morgan McDonald?